Таир, бала, ну что за дела же?
Уая, Таир, эй! Сейф, штраф, что надо сделать? Отжимание.
Железно.
Давай 50 отжиманий.
Нет, иди, я разберусь.
Я хочу посмотреть, бро, если я опоздал, у меня не осталось.
И сразу вот общение в команде, вы, наверное, до сих пор видите, как мы с друг другом общаемся, как мы друг друга поддерживаем. И вот тогда же я уже почувствовал, что это мое, что мне комфортно находиться в этом зале, что мне приятно вообще проводить время с этими пацанами.
Босиком специально босиком, брат, чтобы не подскользнулась нога случайно, даже в носках нельзя. Еще ты дерешься же босиком, у тебя полностью должна нога чувствовать землю.
Где-то даже как-то я говорил, и Хавьер Мендес говорил, это универсальный боец. Многие, честно говоря, недооценивают. Все говорят о его борьбе. Ну, мое мнение, что он еще до конца не раскрыл свою стойку. Даже, в принципе, это и хорошо. Он может многих удивить. Даже смотрю я в интервью, многие говорят, анализ делают его стойки, о его ударной технике.
Islam Makhachev is deep into his final training camp ahead of his UFC 330 welterweight title defense against Garry, and every detail of his preparation has been designed to sharpen the tools that made him champion.
Мне нормально, если балл я не отдам, взять не обязательно. У меня это есть понятие, как там делать. В голове получается, там не получается.
Khabib Nurmagomedov is leading the charge as Makhachev's head coach, overseeing a camp built around refining every element of the champion's already dangerous skill set.
Чуть нарушил начало сборов, вообще без никакой акклиматизации мы сразу начали пахать.
All week I was pushing them. I leave weekend. I just come back for next 5 days. For me, it's gonna be fun day. For them, it's gonna be very hard days.
Javier Mendez watches from the corner with a critical eye, hunting for the smallest flaws to ensure nothing is left to chance when Makhachev steps into the cage.
The whole team for Islam's here, except two coaches, two very important coaches, Saif Sapula and Magomed, head coach at Abdulmanap Gym in Dagestan. But we have the main person that I believe is always here for Islam, and that's Khabib. He is basically running the whole program, really. I do little bits and parts here and there. I've become more of a mentor type than actually the head coach now, and I like my role. I do less work, but I also get to watch someone like Khabib take over with a great honor and joy it gives me to see how great of a coach he is.
Khabib has been candid about the challenge ahead, admitting they've never dealt with an opponent who brings Garry's combination of height and range-heavy striking, meaning Islam will need to be precise when closing distance and dictating where the fight happens.
Когда я был действующим спортсменом, и также мне тоже хочется отдавать ему обратно, делиться с ним опытом, потому что я знаю, что когда я в зале и когда меня нету, это две разные тренировки.
As the August 15th date approaches, Makhachev has confirmed he's training in New Jersey at National MMA, alongside Khabib and his team, and he says he feels fully prepared for what Garry brings. If that preparation has bred confidence without complacency, the champion might be more dangerous than ever.
Yeah, everything is going very well. We stay in the same gym, like last couple of fights we stay in New Jersey and training in Nick Canton MMA. It's very nice gym. I have too many my brothers and friends and sparring partner with me. Almost all team is here. We're training together. Khabib is here, Javier is here, you know, and we're training every day very hard to be ready.
Asked about Garry's movement and reach advantage, Makhachev acknowledged his opponent prefers to fight from range and stay on the outside, but said his plan is simple: follow Garry, cut off the cage, and take him down when the window opens. When the topic of Charles Oliveira helping Garry prepare came up, Makhachev brushed it off with a joke about what Oliveira could possibly teach him.
His skills, I just have to run in this camp too much because I have to follow him because he runs too much, you know. I know his game plan, we always see his fight and he has same style always. But I will try to catch him, take him down, just what I did with my all opponents.
He's done a lot of his camp, obviously, with Charles Oliveira. He's trained a lot. Is there anything Charles can tell him about you that you're worried about?
Yeah, Charles is gonna teach him how to tap fast, that's it.
John Jones weighed in with a prediction favouring Makhachev, citing the champion's wrestling pedigree as the decisive factor in a fight against a dangerous but less proven grappler. Jones emphasized Makhachev's ability to control where the fight takes place as a massive advantage, and while he didn't guarantee a finish, the message was clear: Makhachev's dominance on the mat and in the clinch would be too much for Garry to handle over 5 rounds.
I assume that Islam's going to win that one just because of his wrestling pedigree. You know, to be able to dictate if the fight's going to be standing or on the ground, it's a great gift. Another guy with a strong team behind him, strong faith. I'm not rooting for anyone in that fight because I don't know either one of those guys on the personal level, but I'm assuming that Islam's going to win. That's my prediction.
Carlos Prates believes Garry has the tools to make this competitive, though he stopped short of calling for an upset, making it clear the Irishman's skill set is legitimate even if the level of difficulty against Makhachev can't be fully understood until the cage door shuts. Prates' take reflects a theme running through most analysis of this fight: respect for Garry's ability, even if the odds favor the champion.
Of course, he's the underdog against Makhachev, but I truly believe he have a really good skills to beat Makhachev, you know. Of course, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a hard fight. I think if he would the guy like knock people out a little bit more, he hurt a little bit more, would be like less hard to beat Makhachev, you know. He do a lot of points. He don't hurt people, you know. But I think he have a chance, really good chance, like real chance, you know, to beat Makhachev.
Dan Hardy called it a great matchup but warned that Makhachev represents a stylistic nightmare that no one at welterweight is truly built to solve. Stopping short of a guarantee but making it clear the Dagestani pressure machine leaves Garry's path to victory, looking narrower than his confidence suggests.
That's a great fight. Look, it's a great fight. Ian Garry for a long time has been saying that, you know, he is the future. Obviously, it's his nickname. Like, he sees himself as being there with the belt. He's visualized it, but now he's got Makhachev in the division. And I mean, Makhachev's got the kryptonite for every single person in the division. No matter where the fight goes, he's got the skills to challenge you and to cause you issues. Like, of course, since Ian Garry's, you know, been spending time in Brazil, been working on his jiu-jitsu, he's going to be far more confident in his ground game.
Hardy also acknowledged Garry's improved ground game from his time training in Brazil, but questioned whether that preparation can replicate the kind of suffocating pressure Makhachev brings, noting you'd have to be in the Dagestani wrestling room to understand that intensity. He added that Garry's slick striking may not be enough if he can't hurt the champion before Makhachev closes the distance.
But at the same time, like, I don't know if you can be able to replicate what Islam Makhachev can do to you. I think you would have to be in the wrestling room in Dagestan to really feel that kind of pressure. And what you got to remember is, like, that room right now, we keep signing a bunch of guys from Khabib's team. They're all like cookie cutter versions of each other. They're all lethal. They've all got great wrestling. They've all got that pressure style with good punching and kicking now. You know what I mean? Like, there's a really elite level in that gym. And Makhachev's at the top of that pile. Like, everybody in that gym is working towards where he is, and everybody in that gym's a killer.
Garry has made it clear he views this fight as his moment to prove he belongs among the sport's elite, though he's kept tactical details close to the chest. His belief in his ability to beat Makhachev is unmistakable, raising the question of whether that confidence is justified or if the pressure of the moment will shake it once the cage door closes. Against a fighter like Makhachev, who breaks opponents with relentless control, the mental battle may be just as important as the physical one.
I have nothing but respect for him. I think he's absolutely cemented himself as the best fighter on the planet right now, and until he's beaten, he holds that status. what he's done in this career, in his career and over the last decade in the sport has been second to none. A two-weight world champion, pound for pound #1, and on the verge of breaking the longest consecutive win streak in UFC history. It's nothing but exception. However, I've always said to you from the first time you spoke, well before I was in the UFC, to be the best, you have to beat the best.
Garry brushed off Makhachev's critique, dismissing it as noise from a fighter already second-guessing himself, though he didn't predict how the fight would unfold. He framed the verbal sparring as predictable build-up, noting that champions who are truly secure in their abilities don't waste time criticizing their opponent's training habits. They let their performance do the talking.
I have this feeling in my heart that they know I'm the trickiest opponent for him. That's why he's calling out Patches. That's why he's calling out Morales. That's why the champion of the world, one of the most dominant athletes we've ever seen, called out Kamaru Usman to defend his world title fight against. Does that make sense? He knows I'm long, I'm tall, I'm fast, I'm rangy, I understand distance management and control. And if you want to flip that into a terrible wording, then you'll say what he said.
Garry's supporters point to his undefeated record, his ability to perform under pressure, and the steady improvement he's shown fight after fight as proof this isn't hype, it's a fighter who has delivered when it matters most, even if some fans and analysts are still slow to accept it.
Kind of dislike him, but you can't deny what he's done in his career. You just can't, right? As much as you might want to, you can't. I mean, last time out, he won a decision over Belal Muhammad. He beats Carlos Praches. He loses to Shavkat Rakhmonov when he went the distance, and he beat Michael Venom Page, okay? Right? They are three very, very good wins. Before that, Jeff Neal, Neil Magny, Daniel Rodriguez, Song Kanan, and Darian Weeks made his UFC debut against Jordan Williams. That's fine, right? That's what you do. You work your way up. But when he got into the deep end of the division, against your MVPs, against your Jeff Neal, your Carloses, and your Belals, what did he do? He won all of those fights. So
Chael Sonnen pushed back on the criticism of Garry's movement, clarifying that in MMA, moving backward is often a tactical choice to avoid takedowns from elite wrestlers rather than a sign of fear or lack of aggression. If Garry's movement is misunderstood by judges or fans, it could shape the narrative of the fight in ways that don't reflect what's actually happening.
Ian Garry does a good job of moving. Yes, he moves the whole time. But they didn't say moving, they said running, and running specifically, when we use it as a vernacular in this space, means he goes backwards. He's running from you. He's running. Running away from a fight.
Chael also isn't ready to take Makhachev's running critique at face value and plans to rewatch Garry's past fights to see if the criticism holds up or if it's just a tactical mind game. If the critique is overblown, Garry could use it as fuel to prove the champion wrong.
It's either that Ian Garry does not just run away in fights. I've never known Ian to do that, but I could pull up an Ian Garry fight right now and I could find out. I could just look at it and go, oh, well, look, he does it. I had never really noticed. Or he's not telling the truth that he's going to chase him. One of those two things aren't true. But I don't know which one it is. And it makes it interesting. And if Ian does play that game of cat and mouse with that long reach that he has, right? Is it enough to say that Ian's going to upset Islam? Boy, Islam's pretty special.
Both fighters are entering the bout with significant layoffs, an unusual stat for a title fight that raises questions about who will shake off the rust faster and impose their game plan from the opening bell. Time off can mean rest and recovery, or it can mean ring rust and hesitation, and how each fighter handles that adjustment could be one of the keys to victory.
273-day layoff, and I believe, if my math's correct here, this is the third longest layoff of his career going into this fight. So again, he fought Jack in November. We're talking about a fight here in August, so decent amount of layoff going into this one. His longest layoff was going from the Adriano Martins to Chris Wade fight back in 2015 to 2016. There was a 350-day layoff, and then going from Chris Wade to Nick Lentz, there was a 343-day layoff. So this one comes in at 273, slightly, slightly behind the 43-day layoff. All right, let's get to Islam's. Islam's had one close fight in his career. That's the first Volkanovski fight. Some people talk about that one.
Daniel Cormier sees Makhachev winning by decision, arguing that Garry's lack of fight-ending power or submission threat will leave him without the tools to stop the champion's relentless grappling control, even if he survives the distance. While Garry has shown he can survive and thrive against dangerous opponents, he simply doesn't possess the kind of fight-changing power on the feet or on the ground that would force Makhachev to respect him enough to change his approach.
Couple reasons why I'm going decision as opposed to stoppage. Ian Garry, you see the fact that he's lost one fight. He's never been finished in his career. As far as I know, and that you would imagine as well, training at Shootbox, that Ian Garry's probably got a pretty good ground game, probably got good submission defense. So if you look at the majority of Islam Makhachev's wins, they are by submission. He's got 13 total, 46% in his career. But I think Ian Garry will be good enough to fend off any submissions. And I don't see Garry getting like super tired in this fight too. So that's why I'm leaning more towards decision, which is where Islam has the second amount of wins in his career, 36%. He's got 10 wins by decision. If you look at Islam's last couple fights, well, I shouldn't say that actually. JDM went the distance.
Ariel Helwani's long-held perspective that underestimating a fighter is a costly mistake is rooted in his career and his observation that belief and circumstance can overcome unfavorable odds. And though he doesn't apply this specifically to Garry's chances, his track record suggests he's never one to count out a fighter who genuinely believes they can win.
I think he has the goodest chance of any of the guys in that welterweight ranks. It's just that Islam is just so good.
It's a great point. What about you, GC? You fancy his chances? Do you think he's got a shot?
I don't know if I fancy them. I don't think I'd make him the favorite, but he's certainly live. To Pete's point, there's no definitive outcome that I can say in this sport that I feel good about anymore. With Hamzat losing, Ilia Topuria losing, it's too unpredictable. Everyone has a fighting chance.
I'm happy for Ian. He was the guy to get the shot. Like he had to be the guy. Carlos has been great as of late, but he has a win over Carlos just over a year ago. It had to be him.
Oh, Michael Morales.
Nah, he's had greater wins. He's had a higher profile.
Helwani and his panel concede Makhachev's status as the pound-for-pound best and the clear favorite, but stop short of calling the fight a lock, arguing that Garry's tools and belief make this a matchup worth taking seriously, even if the betting line suggests otherwise. For them, that combination of respect for the champion and genuine belief in the underdog's chances is what makes this fight compelling, rather than a foregone conclusion.
A quick fight, but
it's not going to be a quick fight, I don't think.
It's not going to be. Do you fancy his chances, PT?
I think he has a chance, absolutely. I think, look, Islam's the best fighter in the world. It's a huge task. He'll test Ian in a way that we thought Bilal would, and he didn't. Yeah, so I'm interested to see how it plays out, but I think Ian can have a lot of success if he sticks to his long range on the outside. Absolutely. Like, you know, we've seen him do this time and time again. It's just a different beast across the cage from, understandably, Islam is the favorite, but absolutely wouldn't rule Ian Garry out.
Islam Makhachev versus Ian Garry is officially set for August 15th in Philadelphia. A welterweight title clash that pits the champion's relentless pressure and elite grappling against the challenger's slick footwork, length, and striking precision. Makhachev is looking to make his first welterweight defense and continue his march toward greatness. Drop your prediction in the comments on who wins and how. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss more fight previews and predictions.